Welcome back in, Bears fans, to another episode of Bears Latest. I'm Brandon, and this is being recorded on Monday, June the 9th, and there is quite a bit to talk about. As we had predicted, Nick Chubb has a new home. He is going down to the AFC South and playing with the Houston Texans. Word came in Sunday afternoon that he was planning on picking the Texans, and as predicted, he was going to be the first domino to fall. And it makes me wonder, is J.K. Dobbins next? Do we think the Bears are going to be pursuing him? I would like to think so, but a lot of the word that we've been getting at camp is that the backs that we have in there right now are doing a great job. And Kyle Monangai got a lot of love. Roschon Johnson's been getting a lot of love, especially for his short yardage plays and his big bruiser mentality. So I wonder, is J.K. Dobbins just another version of one of those guys? Or is Dobbins going to be the guy that takes us over the top? I'm okay either way. If we bring him in, then I think that you're going to see DeAndre Swift, excuse me, on the move. I could see him being traded elsewhere because you can't have a running back room that is that loaded with people that have starter potential or should be garnering a decent amount of snaps. Or is Dobbins going to go to a team like Denver? That was rumored last week. You're going to see that he's going to be on the move this week. I think you're going to see Dobbins find a home, and I will be okay no matter what, because I feel like this staff totally has everything going in the right direction. So I'm not going to be totally butthurt if we don't land J.K. Dobbins. And I wonder about Nick Chubb. Maybe his market wasn't as solid in the NFC as originally thought, because while I think it's an interesting signing going to the Texans, look at the change in what's going on down there in Houston. Still a pretty good team, but that offensive line, oh my gosh, especially getting rid of a guy like Laramie Tunstall, and they were already questionable to begin with. So to send Nick Chubb in there to run behind that, especially coming off the injuries that he's had, it could be an interesting year there in Houston. So hard to say. What do you guys think? Do you think Dobbins is going to go to the Bears? Going to go to the Broncos? Is he going to go somewhere else? Or are we completely set with who we have right now? Leave a comment below and let me know what you think. So with that, we're going to go over to Sydney Brown. I found this very interesting. I was reading articles early this morning and checking in on what's going on out there in the Twitterverse and the just out in Bears land in general, and reading articles. And I thought it was interesting. I came across Sydney Brown, which I had to go back and do a little bit of research on who Sydney Brown was, and he's a safety. And they were talking about the Bears being a potential fit and a potential trade partner with the Eagles for his services. And I thought it was interesting because, last year you had Reed Blankenship, which I sort of remembered him from the playoff run and everything. Really good safety, stepped up and, played very well. And then they drafted Andrew Makuba this year, and it looks like Brown might be expendable. He may not have a position with the team. He did have an ACL situation, and he did come back late last year and produced well. He did a great job. And then even as a rookie, he was solid there too. He's been very, very good since he's been in the league. And just reading through this, he's only 25. So the fact that we have a guy like Kevin Byard, who is already over 30, and you've got a guy with like Jaquan Brisker in his, starting to get into his prime, but has also had 3 concussions in his career. It makes me wonder, like, would this be a really good acquisition? Getting a strong safety in there, a young athletic safety. You're taking a gamble with somebody coming back from an ACL tear, but you've got a lot of young upside right there. And right now, rumor has it, it's only going to cost the Bears a couple day 3 picks. I mean, right now they're predicting a fifth and a sixth round draft pick for him. Talk about being on the cheap, and you're getting a player that has produced well in the past. And even with his 2024, he still had good numbers for the amount of time that he was actually in on the field. So this could be a really good fit for both sides. And we've seen the Eagles and Bears trade in the past, and have had a good relationship together, especially when you're talking Ian Cunningham being a part of the Eagles brass back in the day when he was there. Under Howie Roseman. So they've worked together in the past on putting deals together. So it's not out of the realm of possibility. What do you think? You like the idea? Are you satisfied with who we have? Or is there another name out there that piques your interest? Let me know what you think. Continuing on with the rumor mill, this next one really piqued my interest. Kayvon Thibodeaux of the Giants is being floated as a possible player that's on the block for the G-Men, and he's only 24. Holy cow, like 24, he's productive. He's just played on a really bad Giants squad for his career up to this point. He's still on his rookie deal, but he's super productive. And he may be down the depth chart because you just drafted Abdul Carter, and you've also got Brian Burns, which I still scratched my head to that when you went and got him, and then you draft Abdul Carter. So it's like they've got all these players, but then it's like, look at who you've got on the roster right there. Thibodeaux has been a solid contributor for what it's worth, and I think he fits what Dennis Allen is looking for. He's 6'5", he's 285. No, excuse me, 6'5", only 258. So he's that big-bodied lineman that Dennis Allen's looking for up in the trenches. And he should be able to transition well into that scheme. And it sounds like that they're not looking for a lot in return, which I find that hard to believe because the guy's good. You can't just give him away. Some of the people are talking about that Dominic Robinson, who we talked a little bit about the other day as being a contributor into during OTAs and such. They're talking about flipping him and draft picks for Thibodeaux. I don't think Dom Rob is your guy because I feel like Dom Rob is, you might be able to fetch a 7th, but he's going to need to have a damn good camp in order for that to happen. I see a mid-round draft pick. I could see a 4th rounder for Thibodeaux. And honestly, I would do it in a heartbeat. I would do that over possibly trading for Trey Hendrickson. You're getting a guy that is 6 years younger and is getting into the prime years of his career. Like, this is where the production's really going to take off for him. And he looks to be a guy that just needs to have a change of scenery, and Chicago would be a great destination where he could slide right in, have him in there with Odengbo, have him opposite of Sweat. You're going to have some really good talent being up on the line and in the trenches. And I think it just gives DA another player to work with, another weapon that fits his mold and the scheme that he's planning to run here in Chicago. What do you guys think? Would you prefer a guy like Thibodeau? Would you like to see him as a possible trade candidate over Trey Hendrickson or one of the other guys like Jadeveon Clowney that we talked about in previous videos? Let me know what you think. I, for one, am on board. I would be on board with both Sidney Brown and Thibodeau being on this roster. It would be us getting younger. We would be thinking long term. We're thinking in the Caleb Williams window of things. It lines up with all of the contracts that we've been giving out to free agents that we had this year. We talked about re-signings for new rework deals that fit that same window. So I think this would be something to definitely pursue if I'm Ryan Poles and company. So I'm interested to see what's going to become of this in the coming days. So we need to wrap it up for today, my people. And before we wrap up completely, if you haven't heard, Jaire Alexander has been released from the Packers. This has been long rumored, this entire offseason, just because Alexander has been dealing with a lot of injuries. He has not. He's not been on the field, in recent years as consistently, and so to pay what they were going to be paying him, which was like north of 10 million for sure. I don't have the exact number in front of me, but just super surprised that Green Bay wasn't able to work something out where they could negotiate a team-friendly deal. And maybe that is something where Jaire was like, nope, I'm not doing that. I know what I'm worth when I'm on the field. I'm this good. But I can't blame Green Bay for doing that. But wow, does that take and really put a blow on the secondary for the Packers? Just if I'm the Bears and if I'm any of these NFC North teams, I'm looking at this as a really unique opportunity, an opportunity to capitalize, because you don't have studs back there in the secondary for Green Bay. I don't see them. Maybe the younger guys will take a step forward, like Eric Stokes and company, this coming year. But I think this is a major blow to the defense for the Packers, and I think it continues to. I think they're going to be a weaker roster, a weaker squad going into 2025. And I think this is a unique opportunity for the Bears. So I wish Alexander well. I know there's already rumors out there that teams like the Vikings, the 49ers, are already looking at him for his services. I've even been looking at, is there a possible change to safety? Maybe kind of like similar to when Charles Woodson had to convert. He just wasn't as capable at the corner position as he was earlier in his career, and maybe playing in that safety position where you're dealing with a zone scheme, or you're just playing, in the back and playing deep and covering the middle. It's a possibility. I don't see a fit here in Chicago. I don't think he wants to play in Chicago, but I think there's definitely some teams out there that are going to be vying for his services. I think you're going to see some serious contenders looking at shoring up, depth on their team and bringing in a guy of his caliber. So sorry to see you go. Not really, but wish you well, and hopefully you can still contribute this year, and hopefully it's not against the Bears. And finally, we got to congratulate Cole Kmet over the weekend. Cole got married. So not only is Cole coming into a situation where he's getting ready to play in a new offensive scheme, where there's good offensive possibilities for him, he ties the knot with his longtime girlfriend, and wish him nothing but the best. And hopefully this is another great notch and step in the right direction on getting Cole's production up this year and just continuing to bring him nothing but good vibes. So, guys, it's been great. Leave a comment below if you have anything. Let me know your thoughts on anything we talked about today. If there's segments that you'd like to see down the road, make sure you put that in there as well. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and we'll see you next time. And as always, Bear down.